Hello YouTubers, and welcome to this course on my top 10 tips for advanced users of Microsoft Excel. I'm Philip Burton of excelinoffice.com. I'm the author of several best-selling courses on Udemy. Now, Microsoft Excel is one of the most used programs in the office today, but how many people know the full extent of what it can do? So what should you know about Microsoft Excel? Well, why not ask Microsoft? Microsoft have a range of certifications, each one detailing what it wants you to know about all of its programs. Microsoft says that holding such a certification can earn an entry-level business employee as much as $16,000 more in annual salary than uncertified peers. In this video, you will see my top 10 tips for advanced users of Microsoft Excel. Tips that could help you get towards your certification. Just think how that might look on your CV or resume and how that might affect your career. So welcome to this video, and without any further ado, let's have a look at tip number 1.
Tip number 1 is to do with naming ranges. But before we get into tip number 1, let's just have a look at the data that we've got. This is a series of house price inflation data, one for each month for 6 different regions. And you can see the average house price, the percentage change over 1 month and 12 months, the sales volume, the detached price, houses which are detached, and houses which are apartments or flats. So let's have a look at the reason for naming ranges. Suppose I wanted to have a total of the sales volume. So equals sum, and I go to H2 all the way down to H1585. So my total is 3,795,000. Now let's add some more data. The 17th. And we have another 100,000 sales volume. You can see that in this particular instance, this formula did not update. And it may not just be this formula. Suppose I had additional formulas which did a count. So how many particular items were there? And maybe I've got another one which does the average. So what's the average sales volume per month? None of these formulas are picking up this new data row. As you can see by the little green icons to the top left, it tells you this formula omits adjacent cells. And this may be a problem that grows and grows, especially when you get complicated spreadsheets with multiple references to the same cell range. You would have to do a find and replace to find all of them, and what if you don't get it quite right? Now you could convert this into a table, and we've had a look at that at the intermediate video. But suppose we weren't doing that. Well, what we can do is we can name this range. So if I highlight and go to formulas, we can see that we can define a name. We can also define a name here in the name box as well. So if I define this name as, well, sales volume with an underscore, that sounds fine. I can use this sales volume in my formulas. So it equals the sum of sales volume. And you can see it has it in the autocomplete. So I can just press tab to autocomplete that. So I'll change that for all 3 of these formulas here. And I can also click on it as well. So now when new data changes the range, I don't have to go into each of these formulas separately to update it. All I have to do is to go into formulas, name manager, and edit this particular one, or I can do it down here to change the actual range. Notice what happens when I do. I click on the check mark, click close. All 3 of these get updated. And similarly, if I now add in even more data and update the name, all 3 of these get updated. Now, as I say, my preferred way is to convert this into a table, and then you can say equals the sum of table sales volume. but not in all situations will that be possible. So if you have the possibility of an expanding range, especially if you are going to use it in formulas in multiple locations, my advice to you would be to define the name and then use that name in your formulas.